Nobody cares about the preseason. It's boring. Backups play, and you just see guys trying to make the roster of whatever team they are on. That's nice and all, but most people only go to the preseason to see how their young pieces are looking. Whether they're rookies, sophomores, or going in their third year, want to find out if they're really good or not, and the preseason is a time to figure that out. However, with the preseason, you can't just go off stats, because they usually are playing against the other team's backups, so you have to actually key in on that player and see if their intangibles, mechanics, and overall skill is there. And today, I'm going to talk about how some young players have looked so far in this preseason. But before I get into the video, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. All support is very much appreciated, helps me out a lot, so help a man out. Also, go check out @JerseyApparelUSA on Instagram for some high quality, cheap sports jerseys. You can get your favorite player's jersey in just 7 to 10 days with a simple Instagram DM. Now, let's get right into the topic. I will start with my favorite team's young quarterback, Mac Jones. Mac has been really confusing this preseason through 2 games. First game, although completing 68.4% of his passes, was not great. Everything was dink and dunk, and he missed some throws downfield, like the one to Gunnar Olszewski. So overall, I was not impressed in week 1. The yards per attempt of 4.6, which is just horrible by all means, really not a good game. However, he did a lot better in the second game against the Eagles. Again, he completed 68.4% of his passes, but had a yards per attempt of 7.7 this time. A lot better. He also looked more comfortable. Besides a near interception on 2nd and 13, he threw a ball to Kendrick Bourne in the end zone on a 2-point conversion that was incomplete, but showed confidence in his receivers. And the throw to N'Keal Harry down the sideline was beautiful, but Harry got injured during the play and the pass was dropped. I don't know if the pass was dropped because of the injury, or because he sucks. Side note, Gunnar also looked good in this game, catching all 4 of his targets for 57 yards. Back to Mac though, throws in this game looked a lot better. He's getting through his reads, and went downfield a bit rather than just the dink and dunks he was taking in his first game. So far, Mac looks good, but nothing amazing yet, and I don't really know who's going to start week 1. Next up is Jamar Chase. Short story shorter, he had 3 drops in the second game and was catchless. He did not look good at all in that game, and in the first preseason game, he cut all of his targets, which was 1 for 16 yards. Then on last Sunday, he had 2 drops in practice, but Monday's practice he did great. Hopefully, these drop issues won't matter for the regular season, especially for some kid in one of my fantasy leagues who took him with the 30th pick for no reason, but that's besides the point. It actually matters for the Bengals, who passed on Penei Sewell, who I'll get into later, because they clearly need offensive linemen, but decided to take a pass catcher who's had some on the field, and as I will go into, off the field problems. Jamar's former girlfriend, possibly, Instagram model Amber Nicole, posted on her Instagram story saying, "Putting your hands on a pregnant female is lame AF," then tagged him in the story, along with other story posts about it. So there may be an issue that could lead to him being suspended, or put on the commissioner's exempt list, depending how serious the allegations get, which could lead to Chase and Deshaun Watson retiring from the NFL and playing in the PFL, or the Prison Football League. In all seriousness, if these allegations are true, Jamar is a terrible human being, but we'll have to see how it goes as there is no concrete evidence or story as of right now. If Chase is innocent, which he might be, if we're being completely honest, you never know with these things, he will definitely figure out on the field if he is allowed to play, because he's just too talented and just going through a slump right now. Bengals fans, don't worry, at least about his on-the-field issues. Jamar Chase will be fine in that regard. Now I'm going to bring up the 2 top picks, Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence, together, because it's going to be very quick. Trevor Lawrence has been fine. He had some good throws, but also some questionable ones that should have been picked off against the Saints, but it was dropped. His pocket presence is great, and his decision making is the real issue though. He was just officially named the starter on the 25th for week 1. He definitely could have played better through his 2 preseason games, but so far, he's not been bad by any means and has had some impressive throws. That's honestly all I got on Trevor Lawrence. We all know what he is. Zach Wilson has impressed at least in the second preseason game, throwing 2 touchdowns, completing 9 of 11 passes for 128 yards. He's been targeting Corey Davis a lot, which is a good sign for Jets fans, given that they signed Davis to a contract this offseason. His first touchdown throw to Tyler Kroft was a beautiful throw. The camp reports conflict with his performance in this game because he struggled early in camp, but has come out and impressed in the preseason so far with some great throws. Last note on these 2, if the teams struggle, do not blame it on them. The Jaguars and Jets suck so bad it is even funny. We already know that teams will go under 500, so do not be surprised if they only get 4 to 6 wins. Well, actually, you can't go under 500 anymore, but you know what I mean. Penei Sewell has had some trouble so far, but honestly, it's reasonable. Sewell opted out of his last college season due to COVID-19 concerns, so he's not played in a while. He also switched to right tackle, which basically means playing an opposite style of left tackle due to it being obviously on the other side of the line. Pretty self-explanatory. So at least his struggles have an excuse. Head coach Motor City Dan Campbell is not worried about Sewell's struggles, saying in a press conference that, "I think the more reps he gets, the better it is for him. I think that he got beat a few times, but I'm not discouraged. Neither should he be." And he's right. Nobody should be discouraged, so Lions fans, do not be scared. Penei Sewell will not get beat as much as he is right now later on in the year. I'm going to try and call right now, but we all know how this goes for me. I suck at this. He will struggle the first half of the season, but around the time of their bye week in week 9, he will turn around and look like he was worth the 6th overall selection in the NFL draft. Basically, Penei Sewell is struggling, but it's fine. Offensive linemen are either studs coming out or struggle a little bit coming out because they have to go against a lot better competition. Penei Sewell will be just fine. Now on to some of the later picks. I'll start with cornerback Elijah Molden, who was selected in the 3rd round by the Tennessee Titans. He played the whole game against the Buccaneers and looked great. He played slot mostly, and occasionally blitzed, even sacking Kyle Trask in the 4th quarter. Then immediately snuffed out a screen that went nowhere. His tackling has been very impressive for a 5'10", 194-pound corner, especially given the size of the players he covered in that game, being O.J. Howard and Tyler Johnson. Molden got a stop on 4th down as well, and deflected a pass that led to an interception. Overall, great preseason debut for Molden. It's looking like he's going to start in week 1. Then there was an undrafted player for the 49ers I'd never heard of until this most recent game against the Chargers. That player is linebacker Justin Hilliard, who's looked amazing coverage so far going up against tight ends and slot receivers and somehow sticking with them. Although he missed on a couple of plays, he also had some great plays, stopping a check down for a 1-yard gain, breaking up a couple of passes, locking up the receiver he was covering, and absolutely abusing them, to be fair to Hilliard. Also, he played special teams, which will be very helpful for him, so he can try to make the roster, but after this performance, I think it is a guarantee that he makes the 49ers' final 53-man roster. Yes, this is the preseason, but this is what you do in the preseason. Overreact to a young player in general doing great or disappointing, so that's what I gotta do. A lot of guys have impressed me so far that I did not talk about in this video, like Justin Fields, for example, and some others have also disappointed, like Devonta Smith, kinda. However, I know one can turn around or even disappoint in the regular season. It really just depends on how the situation is around them, and if they really are as talented as we think they are. And with all that being said, that is it for me, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Fanatic Sports. If you made it this far in the video, come on now, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It only takes about 2 seconds to do. Also, follow me on Instagram at FanaticSports25 and on Twitter and TikTok at Fanatic Sports. Before I go, which rookie has impressed you so far? Which ones have disappointed you? Comment those rookies down below.